Okay, well, so welcome to a new seminar from the Institute of Astrophysics and Andalusia. Today we have a very practical seminar, mostly for different candidates, or open for everyone, on the bureaucracy that you will have to face with your PhD. So the seminar today is given by Teresa Toscano. You all know her. So since in the third year of the PhD, working with the corresponding group, the MBA, and also in the HT collaboration. So my research focuses on the study of the relativistic jets and the physical mechanisms, and as well as the relation with the black hole where they came from through the observations. And in addition, you all know her because she's the current representative of PhD candidates at the AEA. So, the pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you for attending, both in presence and online. So let me tell you what it's going to be about. Right. So we all know that PhD is a very busy time in our lives, and the first year students are about to discover that. But so our enemies are the bureaucracy, both from the ministry and the university, and things are some time, of course. And then of those friends is ourselves and the manual for PhD, which was created by my predecessor, Laura Hermosa, and I have included some, uploaded and added some things. So you can find this manual right here in the internet. I'm not sure you can see properly because of the thingy. It's right here in the documentation in the third state. So you can just download it. It's the upgraded version. And everything I'm going to say here is mostly going to be there, but I'm also going to add a few things because I've just found out today. So first of all, ministry. So most of you, if not all of you, are either a FPI or FPU, which is a scholarship contract from the CESI or the ministry. And the bureaucracy that you're going to have to face with this is here, all information is in this convocatoria, like regarding everything basically that you need to know. But the part that you're interested in right now is right here in justificación, because what you're going to have to do is to seguimiento, which is monitoring kind of process. So you're going to have to upload 2 documents during your PhD, one in your second year, the other on your final year. Just normally the fourth, but that can vary. So in this justificación, you have this justificación científico-técnica, which is where you can find the models, the intermediate and the final one. And in this economical one, this is when you go away on a stay for like long period of time, you can find some model to justify this stay here. But that is when you come back. So we'll get to that later. So the important thing from here is this. You will need a first document of second year monitoring report and another one on the fourth and final year. The most important thing is that this report is not only yours. So there are 2 reports, one from yourself, one from your supervisor or the IT of your project, which means that you have to fulfill yours and you have to make him or her fulfill theirs. So do not forget about that, because when the date is tight, you might want to remind them that you have to do it as well, and they have to send this document, right? And regarding the stay, which is this estancia, right? Don't forget that you have to include it in the final report. So normally the stay you do it on your second or third year. So in the first monitoring report, you don't really include it, or you don't need to, but it's really mandatory for the second and final one. Right? So this is it for the ministry, FPI, FPU. So not much, but still there. So let's go to the university one. Now this is the fun one. Right. So first of all, you all should have your email from the university, which will give you access to this platform, Acceso Identificado, with your user, I think, and some password. I think it's like 4 digits. That you should all have from being in the program. So once you access in here, this is where you can find all your information for your PhD, which is the portal de seguimiento académico del campus. Once you click in here, it should appear something like this. So this is me when I was young. I'm free. And right, so first of all, you'll have some general data, such as some blah, 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 right? But from here, the important thing is first your program, which is normally either this one, the Física y Ciencias del Espacio, or the Mathematics and Physics one. So normally those are the most usual ones. And what's really important here is these two people. So other than your thesis director, to define, your tutor and coordinator. So the coordinator is a person that coordinates the PhD program in which you are enrolled. And the tutor is supposed to be the person that acts as a link between you and the university. So any questions related to the bureaucracy of your PhD and how to send these kind of papers, you should ask this person. In my case, you can see that it's the same person. So I just emailed her about everything. Right, so this person will come up in conversation later. Another thing about this page, other than the general information and the admission documents, this is just like a repository where all your documents that you will submit will be just in there in case you need them. So not really important at this time. Is the DAD, which stands for Documentos de Actividades del Doctorado. So the activities that you are going to do while in your PhD, which are like seminar, talks, etc., right? So once you click in there, it will look like this, okay? So you click and then the problem is that it's mostly in Spanish. I don't think there's an English version, but it should be pretty easy to translate anyway. So you can check here the activities that you are advised to take or participate in. And you can, what you need to do here is every time you do an activity, you create this activity and you just enter some description and then add the certificate of attendance of this activity. Okay? Yeah, but that should be very different kinds of activities that will be explained in here. So like they've got like different names like PD something or some kind of names. But you can just go in depth checking these links here. It should be pretty straightforward. The problem with this, and I think I mentioned this, well, I'll mention this later, but I'll just mention this now, is like this create activity thing. You can do it for the things that you do, but some activities you cannot create yourself. And your tutor, remember that I mentioned this before, this person here has to create the activity and activate the activity, and then you can just upload a PDF or whatever is required for the activity itself. This is the case, for example, when you have to stay abroad, either locally, like for a few weeks or something, or longer stay for months. So you will need to tell this person, please activate this activity with this name and blah, blah, blah. You just give them some like general information, and then it will appear here, and then you will be able to upload your stuff. Okay. Right. Second most important part of this is the plan de investigación. This is, yeah.
Direction. That's only one question.
Yes.
Do you have an idea which activity had to be, can you create yourself, or which one had to do the tutor to just list of them and who highly very useful for the people?
Yes, I mean, I have it on top of my mind. Like I know the mandatory ones is the staying abroad thing, and the courses that are done by the university, they have like specific target. And they need to be created by the tutor, as far as I understand.
Apart from the concept of university, which other activity can you do?
The stay abroad. Yeah, the stay abroad needs to be created by the tutor. Or at least that's how it was for me. I don't know if it has changed. I don't think so. But yeah, so those have to be created by a tutor.
So I still have doubt about which one I have to do myself as a tutor or which other. To do that. So it would be good if we could clarify. Okay.
I'll look into that.
Yeah, send it around. Because we know tutors and the students. All right. That would be really very good.
All right. Yes.
Let's say Are those activities compulsory?
That is a thing that I was going to say later. So technically, you need to do some university activities in order to later defend your PhD, but the sum is very, it's not really specified. So my advice is to, while you're in your first and second year, just do some random university activity, some like 1 or 2 courses that don't really take up a lot of your time. And then you can say, hey, I did this, right? And then they can't really, at this point, I don't know how dumb they can be about this. I don't know, I've never heard of anyone having problems because of this, but then, people, yes.
Maybe if I can help in that respect, I remember my first year, counselor who is the coordinator of the older program. What he said is that when you finish your PhD, that page is basically printed and attached to your CV. I don't know if that's the case or for everywhere, or it depends where you go. But for example, I can tell you that if you ask for a job in the city,
Yeah.
It's more important to have the certificates of those activities rather than this.
Yeah. Of course.
Also, you have to do like diploma and stuff.
Yeah, so I don't think they're super important. They're just, what do you do if you go into your thesis defense and then they tell you, well, I checked your activity page. Why don't you have any of the university activities? And then what do you answer? I don't know. So I would suggest to just like do one of, yes.
Yeah, I think at the end, before you submit your PhD, we had the tutor. I mean, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We had to send a kind of report.
Exactly.
How have you really reached what is effective for you to be or get your the degree. So I think it's what we had to do that, and then we had to do that. Yeah, I got really a good background, a good training in different subjects, submitting papers, doing the state abroad, attending other seminars beyond their thesis subject and so on. So we had to do that report at the end. But I think only the compulsory things are only the paper, one or two papers. So
one paper with a first or second.
More the question, yeah, you just talk to your tutor.
I think so.
And that say, yeah, that could be useful, that could not be. I mean, I normally try to suggest or to advise on.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are kind of useful
for you. Yeah. Right? Because at the end, you are going to do some activity.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yes,
for sure you will get a meeting activity for the
sure.
So
yeah, so it's not necessarily university ones, but there are some useful ones, both from the thesis or just some whatever courses that are around that will be useful to you. So you will just do them and have a certificate. Yes.
Yes, I remember that attendance to any seminars can also be.
Right. So well, thanks for that. Next is the research plan, the plan that we still have. This is a one-time thing, and this is for the first years, right? So pay attention here just for a second. What you have to do is that you go in here and you upload your PDF or presentation, and then you have to defend this, right? I'm not sure if it's like, I'll explain it later in depth. And this label here is the monitoring thing. So this is where you go every year in September and do your matricula, which is the enrollment in each year of the PhD. So this is an every year thing that you have to do. And then finally is the general sort of applying things in case you require some additional extension, for example. I will get to that later, or any other issues. This is the way to communicate that to the program of the PhD. That being said, yeah, this is what I said. Some of the activities I will check that in depth later will have to be activated by your tutor. And if you get an important date, can be fixed up in there. It will be a bit painful to contact those people, but you can get there. And like I said, technically you need some activities, but not necessarily for university. So I would advise to just check the PhD program requirements just in case, if you want to be sure. But mostly, as it's been said, it's your tutor and your supervisor who will finally decide that you are apt to defend your thesis. And as I said before, the IE examiners attendance counts as an activity. So in order to have this, first of all, we have an Excel that I sent already, but I will send again if needed to keep track of them. And what you need to do is every September, you make a list of all the seminars that you have attended with the title and the date. You create a document, you send it to René. I forgot to add the email. Basically. And then he will send you back the document signed, and then you can upload this document as an activity in the DAD thing. Right? So for the first year, summarizing up this part, the research plan, which is about a 15-minute presentation. Because of COVID, I had to do it online, but I'm not sure if they're doing it online or in presence in the university. So take that into account. The coordinator of your program should contact you in order to decide which dates are suitable for you. But if they don't, you have to do this anyway, right? So you have to pay attention that around 3-4 months since you start your PhD, you will have to do something like this. So if you haven't received anything in that time, I suggest you send an email to them checking that this is going to take place and when is it going to take place. Also, something that came up today, if you have a co-director, you also have to defend why you have a co-director or why you need it. And in case you don't have it, but you will have it later in the PhD, you will have to introduce it and you will have to do some paperwork about it and maybe defend again the research plan in order to introduce this person. Yes.
When making the enrollment, we cannot have more than one tutor or supervisor. So the director must be added
In the investigation plan, in the research plan, yes. Exactly.
and then there's no paperwork.
I think so. I think so. And so other than the plan de investigación, just a one-time thing, you do it and that's it. Then, of course, you need to be careful about the monitoring report. For the first year, it's not going to be a lot. You're going to make up most of it, but you still have to do it. So just take that into account. Then you will have to do this every year, along with the activities and the enrollment, because there's like a few series of documents. And then the third year, in which I am, and this is important, we need to ask for an extension because our contract is 3+1. So it's not strict for 4 years. So 3 months before we end the third year, we need to ask for an extension of 1 more year to defend our thesis. And the way to do that is using the acceso identificado and solicitudes, like I said before, when you ask for it. So this is for the third year people. And then we go into the absolute madness that I have discovered, that is the fourth year. So it would be really useful if you check this link, because it's everything that I have printed. I'm basically added a lot of text here, which is everything that is on the web page. I don't want to read those, but I left it here for you to read. So this will, doing your thesis turns out it's not the worst part. Once you have your thesis done, you have to do a lot of paperwork. So you have to upload a copy of your doctoral thesis in acceso identificado, same way that you have the portal de seguimiento. There is another one, which is called depósito de tesis. And here you go in there and you have to add a copy of your doctoral thesis, then a commitment of copyright, a proposal regarding the members of the board, one original publication, the summary of doctoral thesis, your CD, and the assignment of the agreement signed by the co-authors, saying that the papers in which you have co-wrote are suitable for the PhD and will not be used in any others. That is just a start, by the way. So once you have done all this paperwork, then it's when you can start the process. And no questions so far. So if the thesis is submitted as an article based, which is like per artículos. So you have like 3 or more publications, and that is for your thesis. There are special requirements that I will not go into right now, but just so you know that you have to pay attention to that. And if you have a cogito agreement, then you will also have to check some other stuff. So like I said, just linking here, and I'm just going to go quick a bit. Right, so once you have done all that, this is the procedure. So you will have to wait until this international school of postgraduate studies, postgraduate, will check their information, and then they will tell you if they match your records, if anything is missing, you will have to submit it, and there's a process here. Once you meet the requirements, you will be available, and then you will be allowed to proceed your doctoral thesis, right? And you will need this authorization, but I think this is just like a automatic process that you will just have to just check that everything's all right. If I'm missing something, please feel free to tell me, because I haven't really. And other than that, you need to check the management committee, the notifications, the secretary of the board, and the secretary of the other board. So there's a lot of process involved. Like I said, just copied it here, but this is to check carefully when you are like on your 3rd year, something like that, so you're ready for whatever's coming. Right. So now that we have been through the ministry and the university, it's time for bureaucracy. So first of all, let me tell you that there is the CSD, which is the Comisión de Doctorado, which is some new sort of entity that will help monitor the progress of the PhD candidates, and we're basically there to help. We will contact you. But I have also here one of the other members as well, please. And we will just try to see that you're doing well, if you have any problems or issues or whatever questions, right? So if you have any concerns during your PhD, feel free to reach out to any of us or to me, and then I can point you to the next member. Right, so first of all, first years, you need to create a SASIC account. Now, I actually don't remember how I even did this, but I remember going to the human resources to check this out. So you will probably have to go there and create a SASIC account in case you don't have it already, because here is where your pay sheet is. So in case you need your nomina for whatever rent or something, and checking the holidays that you have available and when you can get them. So that is all the information is there. So you will need this account. Yes, and yes. Also, in this SASIC intranet, you can check the formation courses, which also count as an activities for the PhD that you can submit in the DAD. They're very interesting courses sometimes. Also, I discovered recently there are some social benefits or ayudas sociales, which is like for people like, for example, me who need glasses, if you need to change your glasses or buy contacts or stuff like that. There's a call for submitting the receipt or the invoice or whatever, and they actually help you get some of that money back. And also, I know, but I've never been subject of SASIC university money for stays or projects. I know they exist. I haven't really applied for any of them. Well, just so you know, you can be attentive for that. And then the fun of the administrative tasks that you will have to deal with here in LEA. So I have basically divided it into 3. If I am missing something, please feel free to tell me. Basically, it's going to be the travel, stay, congresses, which is a whole thing. Then buying the material like computer, monitors, mouses, keyboards, etc., and the easy one, which is going to be the enrolling payment of the year. Because even if your enrollment is going to be like free, you will have to pay a tax of around 60 something euros, and you will have to pay it yourself. You will get the receipt and the 2-3 documents that justify that. And then you will have to bring those documents here to administration, to Susanna. And then she will pay it to you. As far as I understand, that is how it's done. I know some cases in which she has directly paid the whole thing, but I don't think that's done anymore. So you have to pay it first, and then you get the reimbursement.
But only if you have an FPI or the PMO.
Yes, this is for the, sorry, yeah, thanks for this is for the FPI and FPU people, in which your enrollment is included in all that money that you have for your PhD. So other than this, which is what I just said, the buying computer and monitor stuff, that needs special mention. So computers and monitors, it's a special code, one that is actually being going on right now. So from now until the 31st of January, then for the first week of May and the first week of September, these are the calls for computers and monitors, which means that outside of these dates, you cannot ask for those, except if they are stolen or they break. Those are exceptions. So this is the call for that. And if it's not a computer or a monitor, then you can just do this in the orden de compra. You go there, you apply for it, you ask for a budget, you select the whatever you want, and you ask for it. Okay. So yeah, well, you have to differentiate between these two things: computers and monitors, and the rest. That in case you want to buy stuff. And yeah, I have already mentioned the enrollment payment. I don't think I need to say anything more about this. So the big thing. All of what I'm going to say is going to be explained in detail in here in Documentación Condiciones de Servicio in this part. But I'm going to go a bit in depth so you can just see the process. So for travels, stays, and congresses, and when I say stays, I mean short term, which is like less than a month stay, right? So whenever you need to do one of these, you need to go into solicitudes, and these are the ones that you're gonna need: the orden de servicio and the inscripción de congreso. So if you have to go to a congress, you will have to submit the inscripción a congreso. And then you will have to do another one, which will be the orden de servicio, which is for the stay in whatever place that you're going to stay. Okay, so it's like different. The inscripción a congreso is just the payment for the congress itself, not the duration of it. Okay, so like let's inscripción. Right. So in order to do, like, imagine you're traveling and you're going to stay 1 week in Valencia. So first of all, you need to fulfill the 14A, which is the orden de servicio. So you go here and you click and you fulfill the whole thing. Then you need to sign it and have your supervisor sign it. So once you sign it, it is sent to your supervisor, but in case he or she might forget, you need to remind them to sign it, because until they sign it, it's not going to be sent to the direction, dirección. Is it direction? I don't know. And then they are going to do the final signing, and then it's going to be complete. So it has like 3 signatures: yours, your supervisor's, and the director's signature, let's say. Once you have that document signed, you need to get the transport. Now, before that, there's an option, which is the 14C, which is the advanced payment. So in case you are short of money and you need some money in advance, you can also fulfill this document and add it to the 14A. And it works. So that is just one little thing. Right, so you have your 14A now fulfilled. Now it's time for you to get the transport. The problem is that you need to get the transport first through the travel agency, because we have some sort of thing going on with them. So you need first to do it through them. That doesn't mean you're going to do it with them. So there's a trick. So technically, you need to do it through the travel agency, but we'll see. So let's say you get it through the travel agency. If you do it through them, it's like they send you the tickets, and then you're done. You have your tickets, and that's fine. The accommodation can be done through the travel agency, but not necessarily. So you can do it on your own. Normally, it's less expensive if you do it on your own. That's why everyone just does it on their own. So yeah, that's why I said advised. You need to get invoices and receipts for everything. You tell the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever it is that you're staying, you get your receipt, and then you just bring it here in the end. Right. So for the accommodation itself, there's what we call a diet. We are diet group 2, which means we get a certain amount of money per day for accommodation, and that is a fixed amount. But a fixed amount, meaning that you cannot get more than that. You can get less than that. They will just pay you until that amount. So in case you go to a place where the minimum price of a hotel room is more than what they're going to pay you, you can get an additional money. I've never done it, so I don't really know how it goes, but you can ask for it. I think it involves the director and stuff, but you will need to check it out. But just know that there's a possibility to spend a bit more money than the one that's already established. The money that's already established is from 2002 data and has not been upgraded. So it's a bit tight, around 67-ish per night. So yeah. Anyway, so once you have your accommodation paid for, that means you pay it, you save your receipt, and then you will have to bring it later to administration. You save all documents, whatever documents you get, you save it, always. Especially any sort of invoice, tickets, and boarding passes, save it. Then get a certificate of whatever congress, talk, seminar, you name it, get a certificate, because you will have to bring it back as a proof that you were there. And then once you come back, advisedly in less than 10 days, once you come back, you will go to administration. Well, first, you will have to fulfill the 14B, which is the justification. I'm not sure if it's there. I don't see it. Anyway, orden justificativo, you will see it at some point. You fulfill it. It's just kind of very similar to 14A, but like for coming back. That's why it's called 14B. And you fulfill it, and then you go to administration and just give them all the paperwork, all the invoices, all the plane tickets or train tickets, and the accommodation, everything. And that should be it. The problem with this is that I just found out in the Junta that from 1st March of this year, this might all change because they're upgrading to some sort of thing. I'm not sure what it is, but there might be an upgrade. So I will keep you updated on that the second I understand what this is about. Right. So that is for this part. Yes.
A couple of comments regarding
Yes.
it's more like a warning. First,
Sure.
when you do something for a congress,
Yes.
you don't have to pay it yourself. That's it. It's a
Yes, that is a
for an invoice or something to for the institute.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very good.
You take yourself, you always
Losing it. Yes. Exactly.
Similarly with doing buying plane tickets or something on your own with a travel agency, you can be do that if the travel agency has
I'm gonna- I have that. That I have. But the Congress thing is it's very important. You cannot pay yourself for the Congress fee. You have to get the invoice and have administration pay it. Yes.
Wow, thank you. That's only one thing.
Yes.
It's not only for you, but
Yes.
once you have it, you have to.
Yeah, this is for everyone.
Relief for you, it's not only the student, and you don't have everything.
Yeah. Yeah, this is everyone suffers the same thing.
Yeah, coming about the point that.
Yes, Luis, yeah.
No,
Sure. Luis?
the guy that was talking before.
Yeah, Luis.
It's the conference fees.
Yes.
The separate people.
Yeah, the
And be sure, yeah, you don't have to, not too much pay for that. And the same also for some conferences also, they ask for an extra pay. It's the same time. So don't pay for the, I mean, in some of the conferences, some of the meeting conferences, we have to pay for submitting an abstract.
Oh, yeah. That is-
I don't know if any of.
It hasn't been my case. I didn't know that.
The same for the same other conferences.
Okay.
So don't pay for that.
Okay.
You have to be separate.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Right, so there's this beautiful summary picture in the intranet, in the place that I said before, in documents, organized distributed. So I just put it here so you know it's here, and then you can check it out later. But, there's a process here. Right, so the thing about the travel agency that I said before, so we are mandatory, we need, wait, someone said something? Okay, that's fine. So we need to contact the travel agency in order to buy the tickets for plane, train, bus, whatever. But since they usually they're more expensive and it takes like super long time to respond, at least within the European Union, if they do not respond in 24 hours, you can email them back and say, I do not want this. And since you do not respond, I'm going to take care of my own. Okay, so that's the trick. It's like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to take it. So in the Manual del Doctorado, I put the polite way of saying no. But you can check it out later. So that's it. You need to tell them all the information. Like, I want to book this. It's easier if they do it. Okay, and if you do this so with a lot of time, then you can just, take your hands off it and they'll take care of it. But if you're short of money or your project is short of money, then they might increase the prices a lot and you do not like that. So just tell them all the information that they need. Like, I want this plane from this time, from this company, everything, or train or bus. And if they do not respond, then you're allowed to buy it yourself. But it's not fast, right? So first you contact them. They will email you back and reply like, your order, blah, 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 is being processed. And then it's like, okay. Then you wait 24 hours. And then you answer that email back. And you say, no, in a polite way. Once you send that, your order will be in process of cancellation. That will not be canceled right away. Okay, so you have to wait for 1 or 2 days. That usually does it. But in case it's not, you just call them because they have a phone number. They know us very well because we're constantly calling them. And then you have to tell them, please cancel this. You tell them the number of your applications. And then you have to wait until in your application itself, it says cancel. Like fully canceled, not in process, fully canceled. And then when you have this document, you do 2 things. First of all, you save that email in which you can see that it has been more than 24 hours. So you can you save that email. The email they sent you and the one who replied back saying no, you save that. And you forward it to administration along with a screenshot of the canceled application. Okay, so you need to see your name and the cancel thingy and everything. So everything's correct. And then the administration will say, okay, you do it yourself. And then you just do it yourself and be happy. Okay, so that is the no is no for the travel agency. It's a bit convoluted, but it's necessary actually. Especially, yes.
I also want another small thing to add.
Yes.
And is that if you buy the packages on your own,
yes,
many companies and the rates, even the regular one, is paid separately. And when you the cuentas justificativas,
okay,
you may not get that part of the money back. So that's a big reason you should try to use the agency because
yes,
they can pay that.
Okay, yes, that is a big point. I will include it because
Oh, can you repeat the point? I didn't get it. Point.
Oh.
Okay, that means that if you cancel the travel agency and you buy the tickets by yourself, many companies, especially for consumers, charge you another fee for that page.
Yeah.
Even the small rates. And when you do
just the pay.
find the expenses, and you will probably not get the
Okay, so if you do it yourself, you might have to pay for the luggage yourself.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if the travel, yes,
So if you were to buy the tickets yourself
yes,
and do all this stuff,
yes.
who is then later paying for the tickets? You do the same, this who's ordering the justificación.
Yes.
Right?
You will get the money back once you come back.
Oh.
And you just imagine it's a plane. You give them the boarding tickets that show that you went on that plane, and then they will send that money back to you. So yeah, I'll put that. Remind me if I forget, please.
That would be in the same way as you get it back the hotel.
Exactly.
Exactly the same.
You get the money back after you've come back.
But if you manage to get the company to the travel agency to do their work, you don't have to put that money in advance.
Yeah. So you will need an invoice of you paying for the tickets, where it appears, your identification and the amount you paid, and then which tickets you bought, and then you just give that invoice and the boarding passes or whatever ticket that it is. Right, so special mention for a stay that is longer than a month. Now, this is particularly important for the FPI and PU people because this allows us to have the international mention. Okay, so the international mention needs at least a 3-month stay abroad, outside of Spain. Not necessarily at once. You can do it like 2 months and 1 month, for example, separately. I'm not sure if you will get some issue because of this separate thing, but as long as you justify it, I think you should be okay. So for this, you will need to do a special kind of thing, which is you're going to have to follow the same process as a normal stay, like buy the tickets, sign the accommodation, fulfilling the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. The only difference is that it's going to be your own project, which means that you will have to activate it first in administration, and it will appear here. Okay, so you have to first activate it, say, please activate my grant project or whatever, which gives you access to that money, which currently I think it's around 6,800, give or take. And then you will be able to use that money for this stay. So first you activate it, and once it's activated, it will appear here, mis autorizaciones. So you will be your own IP, let's say, and then you can just proceed with the same process. Orden de servicio for going there, cuenta justificativa for coming back, inscripción al Congreso in case during your stay you have to go to a congress. So the only difference is that you first have to activate this project. Then you do the same as a normal stay. It's the same order of paperwork. There's nothing different there. The important thing is that for when you come back, you need an official looking document that justifies the extent of time that you were gone during your stay. And it has to be signed with the date of your last day of work. That is important. As far as I understand, there was a very complicated process involved with this, but now it's much simpler, which means that you only need a document. There is a model of this in the very initial page that I showed in the ministry. So that is a model in case you want to use that. But as far as I understand, any official document works as long as it has a, typical stamp of the university or whatever thing, and it's signed the last day of your work and signals what you did and during the period that you did. And you will need this document for the international mention and for the monitoring report for the university and the ministry. But it's just one document. So that should be okay. Right. So I think I am basically, oh yes.
What's the international report about?
Why is it for?
Yeah.
It's like an extra thing that says that you've been abroad for more than 3 months and you've acquired new skills or knowledge. And it's a thing. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, you don't really have to apply for it. Like, I don't know how to say, it's just a mention. But I think, and this I have to check, if you do the if you want the international mention, like you want the PhD, like doctor, blah, 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 international mention, so if you want this, you have to defend your PhD in English. Pretty sure of that. If you do not want the international mention, then I think you can do it in Spanish. I think, I'm not 100% sure about this. I remember checking it, but not sure.
Sí.
Yeah,
Hay poder
no, not really. Not really. It's just, it's supposed to be a plus, but it's, it's not really super official, like they will pay you more if you have it, not really. So some general remarks, and I think I'm finishing here. We have the pre-doc emailing list in case you have any doubts, or my office is always open. The manual of the PhD that will be incredibly helpful for you, and the Excel for tracking the seminar's attendance that you should already have. If you have any issues related to your PhD, feel free to contact any member of the CSD, which they will contact you at some point, so you will get to know them. For something, always. Also, no stealing food. You do not steal food in the cafeteria. We have had some food thieves in the institute. That's part of the drama. We don't know who it is. That's part of the fun. No going to the rooftop, and I'm looking at the audience. Please get involved with the outreach projects because they're very fun and they really let you promote your work outside of the institute. It's always very good fun, and they're very incredibly people just working on these. Also, keep your ORCID account updated and just keep record of everything you do and the work that you work on, your papers, etc. There's a material room. I don't know if you know this, but there's a in which you can get like notebooks and papers, pens, even medicine and pads. And before doing anything stupid, make sure to ask first because it might just avoid you a lot of trouble. So I think that's it for me now. Good luck from now on. And just general advice, we are going to celebrate some churros with chocolate in the cafeteria next Tuesday at 11. So you're all invited. I will send the announcement during this week, probably today or tomorrow. So, because we will need money to make this happen. This is not free. So you will pay for it. And I'm sorry. And that's it. That's it all for me. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions now, later, at some point during your life, just contact me about this or ask around. So that's it. That's it for me. Yes.
I have one remark and one advice. Could you go back to when you submit your PhD in this?
When you submit, like the fourth year?
At some point, the teacher have to give a green line.
Yes.
To be able to submit it.
Yes, one of the.
I mean, it's just enough because I received it at the very last minute. And Sunday, really signed it to me because I had to submit the thesis on Monday morning.
Yes,
So
I know.
Is be sure about do that.
Yeah.
So it's more bureaucracy, and it's one.
Yeah.
And the other, this is the remark, the advice, because I'll be back.
Okay.
When the
To the PhD?
or at some point there. Which when you are out, already the people who are for whom I'm the tutor, and you want to, for me to create a ticket on that, please, I think you have to click in one of DAB and it tells you the kind of,
Yes.
I remember what where it was.
I think if you click here,
Go out menu and it tells you PDA 1, 2, PDA at this blah, blah, blah.
I'm pretty sure that it's here in this button. When you click on it, it will just open all the possibilities that you have.
So you say, I submitted the process to a meeting, so it's called PDA 1, 2, whatever it is. So that code is really important for me, because when I had to create a ticket, I had to create a ticket for that one, right?
Yes, so it's got to be specific about what you want.
For people who are really very helpful. All right? Absolutely.
I think, Greg?
Yeah, I very much appreciate your effort.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa.
Yes.
I have a couple of questions. The first one is, do you know details about the papers you have to publish the first, like with the normal thesis and with the free paper thesis, which kind of
Which
papers?
kind of, so with the, yes.
And also the order of the.
Okay, I know that, I think this depends on the PhD program, first of all. So for my program, last I checked, you need, if you only have one paper, I think it needs to be first author paper or second author, but very well justified. Not sure if the third author would be advisable. And if you have to submit your thesis via 3 published articles, as far as I understand, one of them has to be like the previous one, so either first author or second with a very strong point. And the other 2, where it says, and I'm quoting here, is like important collaboration. So it's a bit of a gray area around there. I guess if you are, of course, second or third author, it's a given. But if you are, I don't know, maybe you are in a collaboration and maybe it goes like alphabetical order, something like that, then if you justify it and you have some sort of proof that says that you actually really worked on that and you're one of the main authors or something like that, it should be okay. So it's all about justifying your contribution to the paper. So that's my take.
Perfect. And the second question is about doing an stay without an FDA, and you know anything about that. How can I justify it? Because my group wants to pay my stay abroad,
Yeah,
but I don't know how.
then it's like a normal stay.
Okay.
So you go through the same process.
If you work more than 1 month, you cannot do it that way, but you can do it. What is this?
I think so. Like I'm in doubt now because I don't know if.
It's like normal position is but for the external. The only thing that has
Ah, okay, okay.
Okay, I don't know if for longer stays it's the same thing or not. Really?
Regarding the question about the papers, I don't know how to justify the relevance, but it's also something that you should take into account. There is a link to a document somewhere in the university. I will send to Teresa later because for every paper that you want to use for your thesis, no matter if it's the one that you are asking for yourself or if you want to do a classical thesis or by a compendium of articles, you need to, for every author of the paper, to sign a waiver saying that they have authorized that paper being used for your thesis and that they are not going to use that paper for any other.
Yeah, that is in one of the many slides about the 4th year. That is one of the requirements. But yeah, yes.
Yes, in that sense, I think it's one of the, I just mentioned it up because I had a problem with that with one of my previous students with Manuel Lampo. I think they have to certify that that work had not been included in any other PhD.
And will not be either. So
I got a problem because one of the guys that wasn't included, but he didn't like to sign it.
yeah,
So
that's something that you.
with our collaborators, we don't have any problem, but this is this. But the key thing is not to be part of any other project.
Exactly.
Outside the University of Granada, so any other.
Yeah, in the world, like it's got to be a unique. Yeah. Okay.
Regarding the international mention,
Mhm.
do you know if there is any restrictions while trying to apply for any position outside of Spain? If you don't have,
I don't think there is, no,
there are.
it's, I'm not even sure if it's a European recognized thing. And I'm not even sure. I just know that Spanish government recognizes it as a bonus, but I don't even know if that goes beyond Spain, so.
Spanish international.
Wait. Sure.
Okay, I have a question regarding when you do the matricular.
Yeah.
So that you have to bring the papers back here so that you get paid on 60 euros.
Yes,
But for example, for me, I'm not in contact with university because I paid the matricula,
Okay,
and I knew that that money had to came back to me, and I sent them an email, and they told me that because I'm an FPU and it got released not so long ago,
okay,
and when it got released, like the official scholarship, I should send it to them, and they will pay me, like the University of Granada. No?
university.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're FPU.
Yeah, so I
That might be a difference.
different, or all FPU is different than that.
I am not sure because you're the first one that has ever raised this with me. I'm gonna, I will talk with you and Gerardo, which is also an FPU student, and I don't know if he's got the same thing, because the FPU it's more linked.
Because Gerardo told me that they will pay that.
Yeah, okay, so there might be a difference then between FPI and FPU regarding the matriculum. Right, thanks for that. Any other questions? Oh, cool.
Since there are some questions about the international mention.
Yeah.
I don't really know how relevant that is, but what I know from some people that did the doctorate before me and maybe in other class, once you're a doctor, in general, they recognize that you are a doctor everywhere. It's not such a problem. Maybe with your degree, you have more problems, like if you're going to another country, they might tell you, no, if you want to be a physicist or you want to be I don't know, a chemist, you need to finish these 3 or 4 subjects for us to recognize your titles, like that. But with a doctorate, it's something more. I know people that have their doctorate recognized, but not their degree in the same country.
Yeah, so basically the important thing is that you finish your thesis and are a doctor. International mention might not be all that relevant. So that's it.
Just
Yeah.
more than a question, it's a comment.
Okay.
It's just very stupid, but this can be convenient. Since you show the person identified on
Yes.
page, if you click on the star, it's because I saw it.
On the star. What
Yes.
star?
It's something very stupid, but it's convenient.
What star?
You have a star in the right.
Up here.
If you click in the bottom segment or in the star, you will have the postal in the first page every time you enter.
Okay, that's actually.
It's
It's actually convenient. You might have known this. Yeah, I didn't know.
also, if the portal segment disappears at some point during September, it's usual.
Yes, that too. All right, then I think that's it for me. All right, well, thanks everyone for your attendance. I'm gonna stop this, or Rene will take care of it.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna.